Well, hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Chris here from Finland Mennonite. It's time for another Midweek Musing. This time where we slow down and remind ourselves of one truth from the previous week's sermon and the scriptures we were in. This last week, we were in 1 Kings. We were looking at Jeroboam and Rehoboam, and we were talking about the idea of being a rebel, right? And are we rebels without a cause? Or are we rebels for our own causes? Are we rebels for kingdom causes? And I was thinking about this idea of rebelling. I was musing about rebels, and this time of year, it's pretty much the time of year in the fall where we start to anticipate some things happening. And one of those things happening that we begin to anticipate is the leaves begin to change color, right? And then they begin to fall. And if you've noticed, at my house, leaves are falling like crazy already, right? They're already coming down. They're already turning colors. It's a little bit early, but obviously we had a dry year. And that is what really had me thinking, because you know what? There is a tree out there that rebels against this entire idea of losing or dropping your leaves. And that tree is going to appear next to me, and it's right here. It is a beech tree. Now, this tree doesn't drop its leaves like all the other trees. Yes, they change color, but they stay attached all winter, and they stick out like sore thumbs. If you're walking through the woods, particularly in this picture, you can see the snow has fallen, and there's this tree that has its leaves on it, right? It's rebelling. It's doing something that's different than everyone else around it. All the other trees that have leaves that look like this kind of a leaf, right? But yet this one holds onto it. It rebels, and so it sticks out. And that had me thinking, right? That's exactly what happens when we start rebelling for kingdom causes. We begin to stick out, right? Jesus stood out amongst his contemporaries, amongst his peers in his day. People who do things like kindness and generosity, they begin to stick out. Why? Well, because unfortunately these are things that aren't normally attributed to rebels, but it's what rebels do. It's what kingdom rebels do. And so here's what I hope we do. I hope we spend a lot of time walking around. If we don't have a place, we know of a park in the area. We know some area. There's a place right next to my house, in fact, that you can walk through. It's a nice wooded area. It's a preserve you can walk through. You will see these beech trees all year long. Some of you out there that hunt, you know these trees because you see them all year long. And every time we see a tree like this, we see a tree rebelling, I want it to remind us of the question that I asked at the end of that sermon. How are you rebelling? Right? How are you rebelling? If you remember, there are three things that we want to do to rebel for kingdom causes. We want to obey the words of Jesus. We want to walk in the ways of Jesus. And we want to do what is right in the eyes of Jesus. So when you see these trees, when you see them rebelling, and let it remind you, oh yeah, I'm rebelling too. Am I rebelling for my causes or for kingdom causes? Am I walking in the ways of Jesus? Am I obeying the word of Jesus? Am I doing what is right in Jesus' eyes? So there's your reminder. Be on the lookout for these awesome beech trees as the leaves change, as they fall. And again, remind yourself when you see this, how am I rebelling? And how can I rebel for God's kingdom and his causes where I live, where I work, where I study, and where I play? Have a great day. Thanks for joining.